my dance moves in it, nothing really crazy, but you can move very gracefully and different before you get into a pose. So I enjoyed doing that. To this day, I still choreograph for men and women. Now there's so many different categories. There's bikini, there's figure, there's wellness. They're all over the place now. And so I have kept up with that. When there was only bodybuilding, I grew into every category, and I was fortunate to teach. I was also very fortunate. The only reason I believe I got my pro card was through Flex Gym, where I go. The owner is Jason May, and he too is an IFBB Pro. And I mean, he looks like the guy that's as big as from the Green Mile. He's huge, and he came and told me he'd like to get me on the stage. And he felt like, he was honest with me. I feel like I can get you a pro card if you just do as I say. He was tough. I could never use the excuse, I'm an old lady. He said, I don't want to hear about it. He was tough. And because he was tough, I loved him more for it. And he got me where I am today.
Well, that's good, because I think it's good to have a relationship with a good coach who understands and also not going back and say, I'm an old lady. I can't. Nah, grandma, you got to push that weight. You got to do what you got to do. You got to build that muscle. You can't.
He was tough, but there's something smart about him. He could come out with a smart mouth, but he always knew kind of where I was. He was really tuned into that.
Yeah, that's good. We have some comments here. Shout out to my man KL, the Warner, coming through. Shout, he says, Muscle Talk Monday time. Thank you, brother. Also, he says this. He says, good evening. Good evening to you. Also, we have here Joshua Simpkins. His first time. He says, what's good? Not much, brother. Welcome. Also, again, from my man KL, he says this. He says, I was most likely in high school when she started competing. I think I was I was in middle school when she started competing, but I think I'm older than you, KL. You had to be in elementary school when she started. So, yeah, and you said again, you have how old are your kids? How many you have?
I have 3 children. I have 7 grandkids, and I just got a great grandchild. So so I've been lucky. I've had several of my grandkids work out with me. Of course, they're busy with their school and they go in and out. But I have one grandson by the name of Grant. He was working out with me. Now he's got all these weights at his house, and he looks amazing. I told him, you look good enough that you can be a team competition on stage. And I think it might play around in his head every once in a while, but I don't want to force him. It should be something that you want to do.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's one thing, especially with young people. You need to really find your own way. And think about it. You earned your pro card at Teen Collegiate back in 2022. That was something. That'd be second generation to do that. We have here a comment from a man, Joshua Hamilton, coming through. He says, hi, Facebook friend. Hi, you or me. I don't know.
Yeah, you look sound. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, we have here from Nicole Strauss. Hey, Nicole. It says, hey. Also, we have here, this is from a man KL. He says, how do you feel about these different divisions out now compared to bodybuilding when you started? Like, I just recently had an interview with a young lady she's a fit model competitor. And here's my stance on the division. I'm not a fan of it, but I respect her passion for bodybuilding. So
yes.
You said you kind of roll with the punches when the other divisions coming in. Like,
yes, I was an NPC judge, and then I was with GBO, and now I'm with a natural federation because they're my friends. They used to compete with us NPC, but they went a different way, and they had their own federation, WNBB. I thought they needed help with judging. And like I said, I was judging NPC when it was real early, like in the 90s. And it just became too much for me, working out, raising kids, judging. I kind of gave up the judging, but I do stay with the natural contests only because they're my good friends and I love them to pieces, that they are doing something for, there's a place for everyone to do NPC or natural. And some of these naturals look amazing. And I know some of these naturals cross over into doing NPC because it's just, God gave them, a gift, a wonderful physique. And of course, it depends on what category they go into. Speaking of categories, I watch them start out with figure, and then before you know it, we're doing women's physique and bodybuilding and women's physique. Then there was figure. Then we went into bikini. Now it's wellness. Then there's fit body. Now there's model. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, that's the new one they started. They started it this year. Fit model,
Yes.
where it's supposed to be a throwback to bikini when it first
Yes.
started. I think around about 2010, 2012. I think it was to be Ashley. What's the name? I think it was supposed to be the standard because she was the first,
Yes.
Miss Olympia bikini competitor. And so I feel like this is a division that's, especially from my standpoint, how long I've been following bodybuilding, like, bodybuilding was first, fitness came along, figure spin off of fitness. Then here come bikini because they wanted something more feminine and traditional. And then
Right.
because they didn't like how women's bodybuilding was going, they started a physique division, supposed to be more, more of aesthetic, athletic build, like
Right.
classic Linda Murray. But if you look at the women now, like, Amanda, she competed at national, got a pro card. She was doing women's bodybuilding and physique. She took second in her class, but because they don't give pro cards in second place in the nationals, but they do give it at the in women's physique.
You're right.
It's just, I think the thing is that as you're a judge, you understand that it's amateurs, you can cross over so easily, but fit model, there's no crossover. But the thing is, I feel like it's going to evolve like the other divisions and end up, you're gonna see, you seen figure girls looking like physique competitors, you seen
Oh
bikini
yeah.
girls looking like figure girls, and then a division like wellness, when it came in, it's supposed to be very soft feminine, but now a lot of these girls are either work from either bikini, physique, or figure.
Yes, exactly. And we see some of the figure, well, how do I say this? Bikini girls will over into wellness. Some will cross over into figure. And it's like they're losing what they're looking for some of the times. And I find it easy to judge for me, but because I have 6 other people next to me doesn't necessarily mean they see what I see. And it makes for judging criteria. You have it in front of you, but sometimes you don't look at the criteria. You're looking at somebody that's got an amazing physique, but maybe they don't belong in that category. And I've seen some where they win both categories, figure and women's physique, or bikini and wellness. There's a difference in wellness, I guarantee you. It has to do with those glutes and legs. Um, and bikini to me is much more a smaller woman, but with shapely legs, um, great glutes. She's got some cap on her shoulders, but I think it just gets confusing after a while. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a great judge, but I watched this just, just change through over the years. And I have my own ideas what a true bikini is, what's a figure, what's, wellness. And I think that's kind of where we have different arguments or different judging on the step on at the table.
See, yeah, that's the problem. I think the judges need to. We create a division and set the criteria to it, but then because you can cross over so easily,
Oh yeah.
it's just, I don't know. Maybe like I said, I'm an outsider, but from what I'm seeing of it, it's getting to the point where it's getting confusing. We have a comment from man Joshua Simpkins. He says this. He says, "That's awesome. Thank you, brother." He said, So, folks, while we have her here, what we're going to do is this. We're going to jump to in her social media. You can follow her on the IG, and you want to check her out. Reach out to her because the links are in the description of this live stream. But guys out there, I'm going to tell you this. This is a lovely lady. This is somebody's wife, mother, grandmother, great grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you this because you know what? She's not too much older. My mother, when she passed, she was like your age. My mother was like 78
Oh,
when she passed, and you're
sorry.
just 76, just a couple of years. But you know what? I'm gonna think like my mama. If y'all send a deep pics, I'm whooping your ass. I am. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna find you, whoever you are. You're gonna you. You know what? I have to be the other guy. I have to come out and because this is just me. I just want to. I'm into chaos and
Mm.
energy. And you know what? I'm gonna use my favorite things, dirt and gasoline. I'm sorry, ma'am. He gets a little
Mm.
excitable when he comes out. So, folks, you want to follow the lovely Miss Rebecca, just jump into her IG and also be respectful and appreciate what she has done and been through as a woman in the sport of bodybuilding. So here we are, pop into your IG here. And looking over here, here it is with the little baby. Is that the great
That's right.
grandbaby? Oh, it's just so cute. Like I said, I have my great nieces and nephews are pretty much on their teenage years now. So, but I got my youngest nephew. He's gonna have another one. I think he's going to be his 12th or 13th coming sometime
Oh,
soon. Yeah,
that's
he's a
sweet.
young. Yeah, and here she is with Amanda again. And when did y'all two meet?
What did you say?
When did you and Amanda meet?
Oh my gosh, we've known each other for almost coming up 2 years now.
Mhm. Who's the gentleman behind you?
And oh, he's a sweetheart. He's got a name called Gorilla, but he has lost quite a bit of weight, and he's was showing me uh, just how much weight he's losing. He's trimming down. He's looking good. Um, I have a friend by the name of Tyran in there. Tyran is a natural bodybuilder. He's a beautiful man. Yep, that's him. There's
Oh,
Tyran. He's a sweetheart of a man. Oh, and that's Nick. Nick is another guy I've trained. Oh, those are my family. That's my husband and I in 1980, 86. No, not 80. Yeah, maybe it was 87, 88. There he is to the right. Um, um, just different people love to take. That's me on the left with my husband. That's way back, in the 80s, mid 80s.
oh, yeah, like I said, and y'all been together for how long?
See, oh God, my husband's going to kill me because I can't remember when we got married. Oh, we've
What?
been married. We have been married for over 30 years. I know that, maybe 32.
Oh, like I said, and he's been there with you as you both were in bodybuilding together at one point,
Oh,
doing
yes.
doing mixed couple posing because
Oh,
that was very
that
popular. I
was,
think, yeah, because remember Diane Dennis and her who was her Kevin was his last Kevin's last name? I forgot. They used to be
yes.
very popular in the. She
You
was like
got that
you.
right.
She was like you. She was a mother like in her 30s. She had like 4 kids
Yes.
and competing by. I think she's a
Oh,
beautiful
to
woman,
be on
Diane Dennis.
stage with 4 or 5 couples, it was so fun.
Yeah, yeah. I think they don't do it too much here in the States, but I think they still
No.
do it in Europe. But you know what?
Oh,
I
I'm
know,
jealous. That's
yeah,
cool.
I know a couple who are they were actually live in the States. They're Russian, and they pose together
That,
sometimes.
oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Lisa Lewis right there. That lady yes,
Oh my
Lisa
God, I
Lewis.
love Lucy Lewis. Oh my God,
Yes.
I would.
Um,
I a while back. I'm with a cool couple ladies that used to compete back in the day with her. Sue Price and Nancy Lewis. Me and Nancy still are good friends.
well, Lisa used to come to my house all the time. She took my music, would take my routine, and she would take it to the nationals. She was something else.
She was such beautiful physique. I mean,
Oh my
I
gosh,
mean,
absolutely.
I mean, and this is where you earned your pro card at the
That's
team
right.
collegiate. What was that feeling like when they
Oh
told
my
you
God.
you're IFBB
Um,
Pro?
I to be that, I mean, after all these years trying and trying, I was always out there with such big women, and I was never upset because I always knew where I stood. I mean, these women, some of them had 50 pounds over me and 75 pounds. I mean, what do you expect, you know? But I always walked away with the trophy. And that's what was so mind boggling for me. I could get past some of these women. And to this day, I can't figure out why, but I did. And that was okay. I'm thankful
Yeah.
to God for that. Like right
Yeah.
there. I mean, these women were bigger than me. This was the first nationals, and I won the very first nationals that was um, given that year.
Oh, that's pretty good. It's amazing. This is like I said, this is like a stroll down memory lane because, like I said, I've been a
Yes,
fan
it
of bodybuilding
is.
for a long time. You know, your ladies who have competed and done what you've done. And here's
There's
another
my
gentleman.
grandson. Yeah. Oh,
Where you?
that's another one. He lives in Texas and he comes up to see me every once in a while. He talks to me every day, sends me a message every day. And he's a
Uh,
natural competitor. He's a very sweet man. Um, there's my grandson, Grant. He's the one that lifts weights now. He looks bigger now than he ever did. There's my whole family. We get together once a year and make tamales. I'm of Mexican descent, so we do that once a year. We make tamales all together, all the women. That's my granddaughter and daughter.
Feliz Navidad. I'll tell you that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good that people really like to be around you and respect what you have done in your career as a bodybuilder. Because I said again, I often talk to you ladies, this is tough sport to be in, especially for a woman, especially for a woman with
Yes,
children. Because raising a family, competing, bodybuilding is not a very lucrative sport.
that's right.
If you are the lucky few who can make a living out of it, everybody else is just, you're just trying to, steal Peter to pay Paul.
You're right. You're right. I have a room, an extra room downstairs, and it's got humongous glass up against the wall. And I still teach every category of bodybuilding to men, women, teens. Um, I can put a routine together for them. It's been easy for me, very easy, and I thank God every day that I could still move around enough to teach.
you know,
Well,
God God really looks out for the ones that we are doing good work like you're doing. And I think, like I said, your story about how you got into it, dealing with all things involved with it, and see how the sport has grown. Now, your last show was the uh, World Masters Championships. That was in 2024. And what was that feeling like? When you made your pro debut?
oh my God. Um, to me, it just felt like any other competition, but I knew that this was probably going to be my last. Um, I had last year 2 operations on my ankle, um, and I still made it to compete. I didn't think I could. My 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 coach said you're going to make it, and he would push me every week. He would meet me every week, and I would fill in the rest of the days working out. But that push once a week, um, and he did my diet plan real good. um, I wanted to do good for him because he still believed in me after being all these years. I mean, he's trained so many beautiful men and women, and here he is stuck with an old lady. And I thought maybe but he gave me his all, and I knew that, and I wanted to do good for him, not only for myself, but for him, the effort that he put in me.
Well, like I said, it's good that he really saw the potential in you, even at your age.
Yes,
And most people, when you don't think about it, that women like you are, if you, I don't usually ask the lady's age. I'm a Southern gentleman, man. We don't do that. But
I
if you
don't
mind,
mind.
if you mind sharing it with people, for people to know, how old are you?
I am 76 years old. My birthday is Cinco de Mayo. How lucky can you be being Hispanic, Cinco de Mayo? And yes, so I am 76, and I don't feel 76. I know in my head, and I feel fortunate. Sometimes when I'm at the gym, I see uh, men and women that are a little younger than me, but you don't know what their lifestyle is. if how their health is. But I always thank God that I'm still at the gym working out and I can do what I do, and have the energy to help pose people if they want it. I used to train quite a bit. I kind of gave up a little bit on that. I'd rather not do that anymore because that starts to put me into the gym pushing and helping people a little more, and it's harder on my joints. I want to save it. I sound a little bit like, I'm selfish, but I want to save it for myself.
Well, nothing wrong about being selfish. Just you only have one life, and you should be able to enjoy it. I would say if you ever think about it, run your own. A lot of bodybuilders do run their own business. You can hire people. You can still be a coach.
That's true.
One thing I think was like, as you know, I said earlier, my mother passed. She had gotten the virus, and that's how she passed because she was sick
Yes.
for a long time. And with the pandemic hit, everybody started doing a lot more online and like video, like something like this. This is how I started. Well, I was always starting to do StreamYard before the pandemic hit, but this is a way a lot of people can talk because back in the day, you had to be there with your client, but
Yeah.
a lot of trainers and coaches do like video and conferences and like that. I mean, it's something you could do. You don't have to be active, and if people like someone like Amanda, who probably
Yeah.
she can help out, or anybody else who will be interested in, and as long as you can pay him a little bit on the side and make some
Yes.
living for himself, you have a good career. Like I wear my shirt today. It's my favorite movie.
I love that shirt.
Yeah,
I've been looking at it.
yeah. It's I'm in my prime, so I had to wear it for you. I'm not much of my prime like I used to be because at one point, like I said, when I was taking my mom after she passed, I was almost 500 pounds. I'm
Oh, it's
honest to tell
hard.
you that. And then I started now to take care of myself. Right now, I'm sitting at 405, and it's tough because the thing about it, that one thing about bodybuilding is food is very important. As your
Yes.
process, you're growing. You can't eat everything. I'm not saying I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder, but I do try to be smart.
Yes. I understand totally. I read something one day that about men who lose their mother. It's harder on a man that loses their mother because there's some kind of a connection. Who loves you the most? It's not your wife that loves you the most. It's your mother that loves you the most. I mean, if you think about it. So when you lose a mother, I mean, it's worse than losing a wife. And I heard or they wrote that it's as hard as losing a child when you lose your mother. And I
Well,
know that from a fact. My mother lived to be 94. And I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't think of her.
Well, my mother, she lost three children before she passed. I
Oh,
had a brother. He was born. He was stillborn. Then my oldest brother James, that we talked about earlier, he died like 22 years ago. And then there's my sister Mary. She died about at least about 7, 8 years ago. But it's just, I guess, I still have I have two older brothers. I have two older sisters. I have an older brother. I have a younger brother. And I have another sister. That's my father's daughter. My older brother is my father's daughter, but he grew up. He's my father's son, but he grew up around with us, and I was a lot closer to
yes.
him. My parents were together for 55 years, even though my dad was living the last 30 of it in Jersey, where we still in North Carolina. And my mother loved my father, even though they just didn't get along
Yeah.
together because they got married young. She was like 17, 16 when she had my oldest
Oh,
sister.
my. Yeah.
Yeah, and how it is, especially coming from Hispanic background, how you know traditionally how you get married young and you have your kids, and
Oh,
then
yes.
what's there to do after that? Because
Right.
your husband eventually broke up.
Yes, absolutely. I totally understand that.
Anyway, one thing I talk about bodybuilding is how people have their prejudice against it. How they look at it is everybody's on steroids and they're like honors and but I keep saying this from the conversations I have with quite a few ladies and gentlemen in the sport. Steroids is only a small factor to it. It's used for recovery. And we talked about early natural bodybuilders, like the lady Nicole Strauss, she's a natural bodybuilder, she's
Yes.
OCB pro. And it's a different look between the naturals and the more enhanced competitors. But I think naturals really get more attention. I know a while back the Pittsburgh Pro just did a natural pro qualifier. I think there's a
Yes.
show, the Ben Weeder, that's coming up, I think in November. That's a all natural show. But still, people still like see the big freaky guys.
Yes, they still do. They still do. I have to because I'm on Humira. I'm forced to take blood work every 6 weeks. It's to check the Humira. But also, my doctor would tell me if I see anything else in there, you're going to get in a lot of trouble from me. You're going to get a spanking from me. Well, I've been on Humira. Let's see, since I was probably 50, and I I go every 6 weeks, get my blood work. He always can tell when I'm getting ready. He says, your veins, nobody has veins like you. He goes, women and men that come in here, no one's got veins like you because you work out. And he says, we can always find that needle to draw your blood, to go check it. And I've never been scolded all these years.
Well, with me, we have this bad issue in our family. We have running veins. Sometimes you have to. It takes a while for them to find a spot, and you'll be all over the place. Say, hey, then you have to come in with somebody who's like the professional, like come in and say, yeah, hey,
Yes,
that's pretty good. But yeah, I think this is the thing about bodybuilding. It's a process. And understand, and I have talked to people say about trusting the process, but you got to understand the process before you trust it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're so right. And I know of some women that have taken, and they're still lovely, but I know some that have gone over, and I mean over for the years and years and years. I'm not talking about just, a short period. I'm talking about many years. And it does change them dramatically. And I know of one lady, I can't mention her name, but she's forever sorry that she took it to that point because she does look masculine. It's been hard on her face. And she said it's been hard on her body too, because I guess it's hard on your joints when you
Yeah,
overdo it.
yeah, I know there's some women there. Yeah, there's one lady. I think she's a Russian competitor. She's just huge. She's like muscle on top of muscle, And then there's those ones that maintain both the muscle and femininity. Like one person I'm going to pull up here. I'm a fan of hers, and that is the lovely Andrea
Oh,
Shaw. Oh my God, I
she's beautiful.
she is. She's just amazing. I remember I'm always gonna do this. Another friend of mine, she's also Latina. She's from Texas. Her name is Eunice. She runs her own company, Bad Rap. And
Yes.
Eunice was I always bring this out because as the
Oh.
other guy says, if you're getting something, never give it free. And she was at the Olympia in 2023 when it was in Orlando. This is the last issue of Muscle Development. I still have some old ones in stock with my comics and stuff I collected. And Andrea's in the
Look how
cover.
gorgeous.
She's beautiful. Her physique is crazy. She surpasses some of the ladies. And Eunice approached her and she autographed this for me.
Oh, that is awesome.
And this is
That
what
is
keeps
awesome.
me, doing this because sometimes some of y'all ladies can be a pain in the ass.
And yes,
Um, I mean, I reach out to some
you're right.
ladies, say, hey, I don't, but the thing is,
Yes,
who is talking to you? Who's talking about you? It's only a handful of people that actually talk about your lady because everybody's more interested, as I call them.
exactly.
Everybody's more interested in the divisions. I call them the banana hammocks, boy shorts divisions. That's the men's open and men's classic and the men's bikini. I mean, men's physique, whatever. But you
Yes,
know what? If it wasn't for women's bodybuilding, the other division wouldn't exist. And even though I'm not a big fan, as I call them, the teenage divisions, that's wellness and
that's
bikini. But
you're right.
I have interviewed some ladies because I'm going to be interviewing a lady who's a wellness competitor this weekend. I interviewed a lady who did fit model yesterday. It's
Oh,
about getting the understanding what it is to be a athlete. Like when you're training, even though when you were competing training, what was that thing you feel like you need to work on the most physically?
physically, um, probably legs and back physically. Um, to me, that was the hardest for me, legs and back.
Yeah, I think everybody has that one particular thing that need to work on to build, to grow. The back, I think, often I've been told, the back can make or place how you do with a show.
It's so
Like
true.
I think one person that sticks out is Teresa Vasic.
Oh
Her
my
back
gosh, I know who
just
you're talking about.
yeah, her back is just crazy. Sometimes she does
Hmm.
pretty. She
The
has
detail.
yeah, great detail. I think she's still a little bit undersized in the legs. That's the one thing is if you're
Hmm.
not complete, you know,
That's right.
that can hurt you. Here we got my man, the Art of Female Muscle, aka Jeremy. He comes on my podcast and says there was a WB I met at the Arnold 1 year that literally had a voice that was, indistinguishable from